Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are in Courtside, Arizona, and we are going on a camel hunt. Now camels here in Courtside have a very big significance, which I'll tell you about in just a little bit. But as you come into town on any particular road, you're going to see one of these signs welcoming you with the 3 camels. Now when I came into town, I was like, what is this? Why are these here? And that's kind of different, but let me tell you why. Let's go exploring Courtside. Now there's one thing that you'll notice as you kind of drive around. There are camels literally everywhere. So the first stop we're going to make is something pretty cool. It's an activity point that you're going to want to check out. Okay guys, along our mission of finding some of the camels of Courtside, I have found something you are going to want to check out. Did you know that in Courtside you can physically ride a camel? Yes, you can. It is so neat and so easy to access. In fact, it's right along the Main Street area, kind of toward like where you're going to the truck stop and the gas station. There's this little stop off that has some signs out by the road that say, come and ride a camel, only $10. And of course, I had to stop by and see what this was about. Now, something else that I found really fascinating while I'm here is not only can you ride a camel, but you can get souvenir photos of you doing so. And it's all right here in this tent. Let me show you around. Now guys, the way this works is pretty simple. All you do is come up to this area, walk up to the tent and tell them that you would like to meet the camel, and then they will set it up for you. They have a nice loading zone to make it easy, and everything is super fun. Not to mention guys, while you're here you can get a little bit of information about the camels and what makes them such unique creatures and why they might have originally been brought here also. For example, the hump is not used for water storage, but camels can go for long periods of time without drinking water. When they do drink, they can drink up to 20 gallons at a time though. And the average lifespan for a camel is about 40 years. Now these two behind us are actually enjoying a tasty snack while they're in between work, but it's pretty neat to know a little bit more about this process by reading the signs and then also talking to the people who are here. I really enjoy coming to places like this because I really geek out on the fun knowledge, but at the same time just to see the beautiful animals. Oh my goodness, they are amazing. So that's kind of cool. Now also while I was here, they actually gave me one of these and I am super excited. There is an actual camel tour, which is part of what we've already been on, but I did not know this until I came by here, that this tour is narrated. And so we can actually go on a massive journey through all of Courtside, and through the app, we can hear the story of what makes each of the camels special. So not only can you come out and ride a camel, but you can learn more about the tour and talk to people who are familiar with actual camels, which puts it all into perspective as you're going around and hearing the really cool history of the Courtside area. I think that that is well worth the value of a camel ride. Not to mention you get to have this great experience, possibly for the first time, as you go through this piece of little desert and live a piece of history, riding on a camel. This is kind of fun. They actually have a Quartzite Camels Facebook page. I did go ahead and join it, and it talks a little bit more about all of the different things that they do. They also have on here the camel rides and some of the other things that you might find. This is so fun. I love it. Along our tour we find Camelita A. Harris, located right next to the Family Dollar store, and this one is really fun guys. Now, as you can see, other camels along the way also have names, and I think that that's really fun. You have everything from like Clyde the Camel to the Centennial Camel, You have Katie, the kissing camel, Lamac, Arthur. These are just super, super fun, and I think that each one of them is a little bit unique. Okay, along the way, I found a really cool stop that you guys are going to want to check out. Now, I see a lot of roadside stops that have some cool art pieces that you can actually take home with you. However, here in Courtside is only fitting that I found this barn right here that actually has antiques and things like that. And on the outside, it has this. In fact, as we roam amongst all of the beautiful outdoor sculpture art, you'll find some very interesting creatures. You'll find some really cute camels. You'll find a few dinosaurs even, and all of these things can be purchased and taken home. Now, of course, I stopped because something caught my eye in way of camel, and I'll show you those in just a minute. But let me show you some of these other things a little bit more closely. Beep beep. He's really fast. And of course, those are only some of the things you can find here. But this is what will bring you in from the road. You'll see this and go, oh my gosh, that is a huge camel. Using Dimples as my reference point here, there's Dimples and there is the camel. Look at how big that thing is. So Mama Camel here is at least 2 of me tall. She is a tall lady. And then she has some smaller babies around her that are just so cute. Definitely this will pull you off of the main road and into here, and there are so many things to explore once you get here. You'll want to stop. I have had fun looking at all the details. I think my favorite was actually the stagecoach over there, or maybe, just maybe, the Native American. That was beautiful. But the camel still takes the cake. I mean, look at this. Okay guys, now that we have seen a few camels, and we still have a few to go, let me tell you why there are camels in Quartzite. I think this is the most fascinating story I've come across in a while. But here in Quartzite they have a little hidden gem just below the surface that you might want to look into when you come. It's the story of High Jolly. Camels first came to the desert as a result of a very interesting endeavor. In fact, there was a person who was in the higher ups who thought that it was a good idea to start something a little bit different than just your typical wagon trains or your mule teams. He found that the efficiency of a camel was by far better than many other animals when it came to the crazy desert conditions that we are currently in. So he decided that he was going to embark on a mission. This started in 1856, and the man was Jefferson Davis. Now that name might sound familiar because we've actually run across it in some other locations. In fact, Jefferson Davis went on to be a leader in the Confederate Army, which is what threw this entire plan kind of out the window ultimately. But we'll get to that. Jefferson Davis decided it was a good idea to bring the camels to the desert, but he needed somebody who could kind of wrangle them and had an idea as to what to do with the camels once they were here. And that is when a man who went by High Jolly here in the Americas came into play. Now when you come out to the High Jolly Memorial and Pyramid, you actually can find this sign right here that goes a little bit more into depth as to why High Jolly was here, what he might have been known as in addition to High Jolly, and why the camels were in fact in the desert. Now I will be paraphrasing just a little bit to kind of tell you some of the details, but when you come out here, I definitely suggest this sign as well as one that is like right over here. A lot of details that you won't want to miss. High Jolly came to this area from Syria. He was well versed in how the animal, the camel, actually performed and also how to make them perform the most efficiently. Whenever he came here, he was a part of what they called the Camel Corps. Right? Kind of strange. I actually saw some more information about the Camel Corps whenever I was up in the Kingman area, learning a little bit more about Route 66 and how the exploration west really started to expand and how they needed to be able to move items to people. Fascinating stuff, guys. But basically, there was a wagon road that went from New Mexico to Arizona, and they really wanted to be able to move things a lot faster. And so that's where the camels came into play. They could haul a lot of different kinds of things because they're very strong, and they don't need as many water breaks as a traditional mule. So they found a lot of value in them. That was until the Civil War broke out. And then, like I told you, the idea got scrapped amongst all the chaos, and then the camels and High Jolly were just left sitting here in the desert. They ended up turning the camels loose, and the camels were spotted up until the 40s. That's right, the 40s. And then finally they kind of lost touch. In fact, some people still say that there are camels roaming in Arizona today. Just proving the historical significance of High Jolly, this place is actually named the National Register of Historic Places, and here is the original tomb of the man himself, High Jolly. Now along the way, this camel driver and packer, along with Scout, lived over 30 years and was faithful to our U.S. government. He became an active part of the community. People loved him, and after his passing, they wanted to honor him in some unique way. So they created this stone and petrified wood pyramid. And then later on, the government came along and honored him with this plaque that was added to it, in addition to the little camel on top. Now, though the idea of camels in this area was actually scrapped because of all of the goings-on, it was considered to be a failure of a project. However, Lieutenant Beale, which was working along with High Jolly, actually said that if it would have been given a fair trial, it probably would have been highly successful because the animals themselves were amazing. And under the leadership and guidance of High Jolly, they were able to do some great things. It was just too short-lived to really cement it. Or was it? The town of Courtside today is a very different town than it would have been back in the day. At the time, it would have been a very small blip in the road, but now it's home to about 3,500 people. And around the town, you can see all the glowing examples of all the amazing camels like we've been seeing. And while that might be just a tourist draw to some, it is actually the historic reference to something pretty amazing that happened right here in the desert. I love that they're honoring this particular situation and this really cool time. And this guy who made it all possible. I think that that's so cool. So definitely, if you are in the Courtside area, come and check out the historic significance also. You might just find something that blows you away like I have. But let's look around a little bit more. We're here in the cemetery, which wasn't actually a cemetery whenever High Jolly was buried. In fact, the cemetery now holds his name. Now, while the rest of this is a cemetery, we're going to be very respectful and just stick to the paths. But we are off to find a few more of the amazing Quartzite camels, and I can't wait. This little map has been so handy. I'm definitely glad that we stopped off and picked it up. But let's go see what we can find. Okay guys, just a very short distance, like literally right around the corner from High Jolly, we actually found something pretty awesome. and I'm about to show you. We are here at the main trading post, and here is Lamach of the Quartzite Camels. He is a big boy and he is awesome. Now, something kind of neat about this one is it actually has a little sharing area. It says here that we can check out the other camels at Gym World, Daniel's Fresh Jerky, Tyson Wells Stage Shop Museum, and the High Jolly Monument, in addition to the Horizon Community Bank, Courtside Community Center, Courtside entry signs, and the store secure storage. I love it. You notice this one has a little bit different of a paint job. He is very patriotic, and then right here you can see the Quartzite Q on the mountain. I love this. This is so cool. But that's not all you can find here. He is super cool, but you can also find right in front of me a place called The Stage, where they also have Outback Pizza. It looks like a nice little dining space. They have a cool place to take photos, and then there is this. It is the world's largest belt buckle here at Main Trading Post in Courtside. Look at that thing. That thing is huge. And just to kind of give a size reference, this model is about the normal size of a human right here. And then look at that. Now, I, for one, love places like this because I can go shopping, I can grab some food, I can see something cool. And even though the road noise is a little loud for the video, I think you could get the point that this place is pretty neat. And it's super easy to access because that is literally the main road right there. So there's no way you can miss Lamach. In fact, if you are looking for Lamach, look for McDonald's and Pilot. He is literally across the street from them, just for a little reference point. Super easy to access, like I said. I mean, like, look at this. Look at this. There he is, right there. Right there. Now, of course, as you're going, there are other shops around here also. I definitely encourage you to check them out. In fact, right across, there's a rock shop that has some huge pieces that are really, really nice. And then there's also a dinosaur in front of that stop. So there's a lot of different attractions to pull you in. Anybody who said that there's not in Courtside very much to do hasn't apparently gone on the camel tour. No, they have not.